Hey,
Hey, happy motherfucking Saturday.
happy Saturday. Yes, guys, we are coming live and we are together.
We're in the flesh together. We're reunited.
And it feels so good. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Can I just please get in where you fit in, okay?
Yes.
Water bottles.
And we're having a little champagne. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy graduation.
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you. Girl, so how was your drive up here?
It was actually really nice. My daughter spent the vast majority of it telling me how she loves me more than anyone but God. I was like, that is so sweet.
Oh.
I know, it was really sweet. I was like, she was like in her feels and I was then in my feels. How was your morning? Did you guys do you have pancakes? Like Brenda pancakes?
No.
Girl, I love this.
Jacqueline was over at her grandma's house last night, so she got here not that long before you guys did. Actually,
that's what I'm talking about. So you had a night to yourself.
I did.
What did you even do with yourself?
Slept.
Period. What else would you do with yourself?
Like that good sound sleep when
girl, you were cracking me up.
You don't have a child here.
And you're like, I'm not listening for anything. Mm-hmm. I'm like putting the TV up as loud as I want.
Right. Because as a single parent, I feel like I feel like I personally can't just sleep hard like you want to, because you're always on like, oh my gosh, what if something happens and she needs me or whatever, or I can't hear her because the TV's on, or I can't take a sleeping pill, but girl, out.
Girl, you were out. Well, you know what? Do you still, okay, so you know how we both like sleep,
girl.
Like yes. We are well-rested queens. So obviously I feel like when Maddie was born, you're waking up because we both breastfed.
Yeah.
So like you would wake up naturally all the time. Well, then you have that natural, like, are they moving? Are they breathing?
Yes, yeah.
5 years late, almost 6 years later. And I feel like I'm still like, I still have a monitor in the room. I'm like, is she awake? Is she in bed? Is everything okay? Okay, good. And I go to sleep and I sleep well, but I still wake up at least 3 times a day.
I mean, I go check on her. Like normally if I walk past her room, because I walk past her room and go downstairs, so I'll peek in there and stuff.
But do you still wake up out of sleep?
Sometimes I will. Yeah. And I'll be like,
is she?
Let me go see what she's doing. And sometimes I'll walk over there and see what she's doing. Oh. And she be asleep, but yeah. No, I do definitely.
I'm like, moms, that's actually a good question. If you are sleeping through the night still and your children are much older, let me know. Let me know if you wake up and you're like, is everything okay? And you have to go check on them. I want to know. Is it just us? Is it the world?
Just crazy?
Are we just crazy?
Maybe.
Oh,
maybe. So what is new with you? Any updates for us?
So just working a lot. I'm trying to think. Well, okay, so there's one update, but I feel like I can't talk about it because I'm not sure what's going to happen. But no, not really. Not really. What about you? I feel like there's always something new with you. What event are you going to? What networking event are you having? Like, what event are you speaking at?
Well, we got invited to be on a panel for the arts, and it's August 3rd at Scranton Cultural Center. And I'll be talking about kind of just like being an entrepreneur, starting a business, talking about like how do you network and how I started it. And just kind of like questions like that. I feel like I'm intimidated by the other people on the panel.
What do you mean?
Well, because they're like real professionals, I've been like in a
game
a long time.
As opposed to the fake professional?
Yes,
no.
Yes, just little imposter syndrome.
Do you remember that time that you literally started a podcast and also like became an influencer on, do you know how hard it is to become an influencer? Everybody wants it. Nobody can really do it. You like literally do it. Like people are like, hey, try this protein out and tell us what you think and tell your followers what you think.
Yes.
Girl, we talk all the time on social media, but sometimes I'm still like, yeah, sure. Why is there a blue check mark in my DMs? I'm like, oh, it's Amber. Okay. You're blue check marked. You're verified.
And they talked about that, like, to how do you become an influencer and, getting more followers and stuff like that and everything. But I think what it is just people want you to be yourself, and want you to be natural and kind of like show your personality. So
I agree, because I feel like there are so many people on Instagram, girl, I die because they always say the same thing. They're like, hey guys, I just wanted to pop on here because this new lipstick, and like a lot of you guys have been asking me what color it is, and I'm like, everyone says the same exact thing. What must your personality be like? We don't even know.
Right, right.
Where yours is very, very true to your personality and like specific. And you're not just like, hey guys, let me just like pop on here.
Right, because you have to, I think you need to show like the good and the bad. And somebody told me I have a good balance of like not just being fake for social media and not just like only showing the good things or whatever.
Literally, i.e., pack a bag with me for the hospital. Like that's really personal.
Yeah.
To be like, this is what I like, literally have it down to a science of what I'm taking with me to the hospital because I go frequently.
Oh
and like,
no, I mean, living
I'm like, I'm here for Amber to like, oh yeah, down the hall to the right. I feel like that is showing the good, the bad, the ugly, and like also like how many things you don't share because you're like, not like how many like products you don't share because you're like, I'm not vibing that, and like thank you so much, but like no thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And like there was a guy that I started following on Instagram because he showed a video of him like sleeping with a CPAP. And I was like, oh my God, team CPAP. And like I hadn't seen anybody really show that and like show a video of them waking up and taking, you know, you see people waking up and they're, you know, to get ready for their day or whatever. But like he had a CPAP and I was like, I have a CPAP. That's cool, you know, that somebody else has it. And I hate it because I look like Bane.
Girl, not Bane.
Girl, oh, it is ugly. But it's something that a lot of people use and I don't think anybody really knows about it.
Well, yeah. Well, and then like it's so necessary because you hear people who like get on it and they're like, literally stop breathing for 48 seconds. That's horrifying.
First of all, okay. When I first got mine, the guy came to my house and he
wait, is that normal?
Yeah, they come
to
I
don't know if you like befriended him. I feel like you always make friends. People like, hey, what's up?
No, he was telling me, he was like, I want you to be like my third ex-wife. And I was cracking up. It was so funny. He definitely was hitting on me. He was like, you're the youngest person I've ever like fitted for.
Sir,
a CPAP.
That's possibly very kind of you, but please do not.
Right. And because I was like, I look crazy here. Like, don't try to front with me and tell me I look cute. Like, I look insane.
You for a CPAP.
But so then when the first night I used it, it was like you stopped breathing. I think it was like 15 times. And I was like, okay, number one, I don't need this information. This is too honest. I don't need that. You want to send it to my doctor, send it to my doctor. But like, low-key, I didn't need that. I didn't even know that.
But I'm also going to need you to be consistently wearing it because it's like you and your child. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep breathing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, my kid is like scared of it.
She's like, I can't come in here with this. Yeah. I'd be scared of it too. It's intimidating. Like, this is keeping mommy alive.
Yes, it is.
Excuse me. These allergies.
Oh my gosh. It's so, and I didn't have allergies as a kid.
Neither. Except to cats.
And then as an adult, I'm like sneezing my butt up. My eyes are itchy.
Does everyone see this tissue? It's not for my nose. It's for my like tear. Like, why am I tearing? I'm not upset. I'm not crying. It's just that, you know, the eyes leaking. It's something that I'm used to now as an adult with my like adult allergies. Oh, doesn't it really?
I didn't know what it was. My eyes kept watering and they were like so itchy and they would burn. And I didn't know what was happening. And I was like, what is wrong with my eyes? And then I found out I had allergies. Like,
I actually had somebody ask me if I was diabetic. She was like, oh, your eyes always run. Are you diabetic? I was like,
okay, first of all, bitch, no. Right?
And I had I was like, are those like
is that a
closely
symptom?
related, or is it because I'm like a large like where did that come from? And she's like, oh, you know, because sometimes like that can lead to tearing. I was like, no, it's just allergies, but thanks for your concern.
I've never heard that.
I mean, I'm still mad about it.
I would be mad too. Oh, are you diabetic?
What? Are you?
Like, I don't know how we.
But I want to go back.
But I remember I was at this was last year, and somebody came up to me and they're like, "Oh, you got bigger," and I was like, "Ooh, hi, I'm number one." Like, you know, and I was like, "Thanks." And they're like, "No, it looks good on you." And I was like, "Okay, well, just like, thank you for making me feel super." And I already felt self-conscious because I just did anyway, and I had like a little crop top on, and it wasn't even like short crop top. It was, whatever. But I already felt like self-conscious about wearing it. And then I was like, great, I'm going home.
That's it. That's the night. The night's over.
Yeah.
Who like actually says that? And you know what? I noticed there are certain people, and I'm not going to say any names, but they're always like, "Oh yeah, so and so," and I don't know. Again, and like, not like I'm upset or I'm like, oh, like super like self-conscious or whatever in my weight, but like they'll be like, "Oh, like so and so put on like some weight," and I'm like, "Are you specifically saying this to me because I'm a heavier person, or like why do you just?"
Or just like a conversation that you just come and say.
I never have a conversation with anybody about like, oh, like so and so put on weight.
Yeah, that's weird.
I would never. And there's multiple people who are not connected that will be like, oh, like so and so. And I was like, well, I'm not in the habit of talking about so and so's body. So like, I really don't
You
know
know what they're going through.
But I also like, to be honest with you, I'm not paying attention to so and so's weight. Like, I like you gained 30 pounds. Okay, congratulations. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's so weird.
It's weird.
Is it specific to me? The people come up to you and be like, Amber, so and so like gained, has put on some weight.
No, I haven't had anybody come up to me and say that.
Great. So it's just me. Great. My diabetic tears. I can't. I'm so mad. I'm mad about it.
But people just need to mind their own business. Because like I
think that's what it is. I am truly out here minding my own business. Where I'm like, so and so gained weight, so and so diabetic. I would have
like, what does that have to do with me?
Like, if so and so wants to share with me, I'm here to listen.
There's like I've noticed that like if somebody has put on weight or whatever, I'll randomly notice that. Being in college and seeing, people go from freshman to senior and graduate and stuff. There's a good amount of people who put on a lot of weight during college, and it's stressful. You don't have good food to really eat. You live somewhere where you don't have a kitchen, you're eating in a dining hall, and it's just.
And you're more stationary too, because you're doing a lot more studying and like library and all that, as opposed to like running around.
Right. And so yeah, did I notice? Yes, but like.
The end.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
And I know what situation you're in. Like, you don't really have access to the things that you really need to be healthier anyway.
Right.
So it's kind of like, what do you expect people to happen?
In summary, I guess I just know a lot of rude people.
Well, yeah, you're by Philly.
I know. Ugh. It's disgusting. Girl.
So what is on our agenda for today?
Okay, it's jam-packed. So I'm gonna pull it up here.
Oh, you didn't print your.
No, because it makes noise when I had to. Okay, for some of our episodes, you hear this like, that's my paper floating in the air conditioning wind.
Oh. I don't even have a printer.
Girl. Okay, so Biden calls up the reservists. Reserves.
The reserves, yeah.
I'm embarrassed. I just said reservists as a military child. Pretend like I did that out.
So the U.S. National Security Council, John Kirby, stated today, and this was like the other day, that 3,000 military reservists, including 450 individual ready reserve, were called up yesterday, will soon be deployed to Europe in a logistics and intel capacity to support a major deployment of roughly 80,000 soldiers and airmen, which will be stationed in the region until further notice. Yeah, guys, not super great. Because once you're looking at 80,000 troops stationed somewhere, that's kind of like you're trying to be war stuff.
Well, so, and especially too, because I feel like, and again, I'm all about like helping countries. I feel like as America, we should when we can. It is also concerning because of like China and Russia's united front together and their stance against it. And they're already, I feel like, poking holes and looking at different like weak spots in the United States anyway.
And I agree with you, because I think that like when Russia invaded Ukraine, it was like, did I want America to be involved with it and do anything? No. But also at the same time, did I feel like you needed to kind of tell that so then they don't go and just get all these territories and then, are gaining more things and then like wreaking havoc on the rest of the world. Right. So there's like a line, but I hate that America feels like they have to be the police to everybody.
And like you're involving yourself in a situation that's like, it's not just about Russia and Ukraine. you add China in there, who has, I mean,
Oh, they have a lot of people.
they, to say the least, they have a lot of people. And I feel like it's really, really scary. And I also kind of feel like, not that this came up out of nowhere, like there's been a situation with Ukraine. We've supported with trillions of dollars. No,
Too much money.
too much money. Billions.
Way too much. Way too much.
So like you, like obviously it's going on. Obviously, like we've both given to like funds for Ukraine, like trying to like whatever. So it's not that it came out of nowhere, but I feel like all of a sudden when it was like Biden calls up the reserves, I was like, I feel like I'm on a roller coaster all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's really disconcerting. And I feel like even when they're like, oh, in a logistics and intel operation, 30,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And also because then it looks like a power move too.
Right.
So then you have to wonder if they're going to retaliate because now we have all these troops over there and stuff, but I know that Putin didn't just want Ukraine. Like he was trying to like take over everything over there.
And that's the thing with both China and Russia, the way, and like, I don't know what the word is. I always say like psychopath. I feel like I say that for everything, but these people in China and in Russia, the powers that be, they're not like America. They're not like, they don't think like Americans, and they are out for domination.
Right.
So like for us, we're like happy to just be like, hey, we're on top, we're in charge, everyone sit down. They're not that way. So like they're like want you to really feel it in your bones to know that they're in charge. So it's really scary. And then also too, I feel I've actually changed some of my habits literally because of something Putin said. That man, he was saying how like the West sits in front of boxes to like disassociate and to become like, we sit in front of boxes, meaning TV at night, to waste our time and to numb our minds. And we are overfed and overstimulated and what's that word? Over entertained, over everything. And it makes us so weak. And I was like, I literally a couple weeks ago, I'm like, I am not going to sit down and watch TV at the end of the day. Like I am going to like read a book, like I'm going.
But I also think though, he just talks shit all the time.
Well, he does.
And no Russians like him. And I think, and they're not happy in Russia. You know what I mean? And
but he's forcing them.
Right. And I think that's the difference is like, even though, we have divides in America on certain things or issues or whatever, like we're happy being Americans.
Yeah.
There's none of us are actually like starving to death. We have a lot of poverty, but it's not like Russian poverty.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
like poverty with no right to do anything about it and no support
and no support
and no shelter, no nothing.
Exactly.
And like, but like part of that makes me feel really intensely even more disconcerted because I feel like the Russian people are so hard because they've been so hard because they're starving.
Right.
They have nothing. Like you can't be anything over there. Like, but like keeping your eyes down.
But I think Americans' love for America is strong, and I think that gives us
it's strong?
I do. I think it gives us an advantage. Like we are going to talk shit about each other, but the moment somebody else is coming over here, like nobody's
like brother and sister.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I can say, but you
exactly.
Like I dare you to say.
Exactly.
So
and I think that they underestimate the drive and will of America because we're free. Like we're a free country, and that's really important to us. And I think there is a difference when you have a volunteer service military, and then when you're like rounding people up on the street and forcing them to volunteer and to volunteer into your military, but then like they're in poverty, and I think it's a lot. And there's a lot of people who were leaving because they didn't want to join.
A lot of people leaving Russia.
Yeah.
Well, then did you also hear about the revolutionary? Like there was people.
Oh, yes, yeah. The inside people fighting with Putin.
Yeah, like using.
That's what I'm saying because they don't like him.
And Putin was like, they will be dealt with accordingly, just like a sociopath can say. And they're like, we're not doing this. Like we're not.
Yeah. I
don't know. So it's scary. If you pray for our troops. If you don't, send cookies, send good vibes, all the above.
Yeah.
This is getting serious.
Yeah, and it sucks. Deployment always sucks. Being overseas sucks. Like, ugh. Ooh, I'm so glad they can't call me.
Girl, no. Delete my number.
Well, I'm out of my 4-year extend, like after you get out, you can still have years on your contract. So when I left active duty, I was still in the ready reserve for like 4 years.
Should I join the military?
Girl,
I don't know if I'd make it.
no, because you would want to cuss everybody out.
And I know they'd be like, you know what, you're going on a 3-year deployment and you can't call your child. I'd be like, well, that's it for me.
Right.
Can I circle back and like pretend like I didn't sign up? Okay, never mind. We're not doing that. Screw that. I don't even know where that came from. I'm concerned. Okay. So, oh crap, this was crazy too. So there's a lot of military things in this discussion. So veterans quit as training mission for DeSantis State Guard turns militaristic.
So DeSantis decided to put together this
Floridian Army.
Right. And most places have this type of thing, but it's literally for like emergency disasters.
Right.
So,
like all their hurricanes.
Right. Exactly. So he told people that this was for disaster relief and like you're going to be helping people. So a lot of people joined up and a lot of veterans joined. And then once they got there, they realized like they were lied to and it was completely different. And it said, many were told they could volunteer for a revived state guard with a non-military mission, help Floridians in times of need or disaster. And you know, Florida be Florida.
In disaster.
Instead, the
Florida
state's
Florida.
National Guards trained the volunteers for combat. Khakis and polos were replaced by camouflage uniforms. Volunteers assured they could keep their facial hair were now ordered to shave. They were doing drills on like rappelling and going through the woods and all kinds of stuff. And a lot of the veterans were like, I'm not doing this. Like, I don't want to do this. And you lied to us about it anyway. And you
and
said,
also PTSD.
right.
Why are we rappelling through the woods when we have to just help people like get out of their homes if it's flooding?
And so a lot of veterans were quitting, and veterans even were complaining and saying that they were being like abused and harassed in this thing. And I'm like, for a veteran to say they're being abused and harassed, like, what are you doing?
Because it's gotta be that serious.
Right, because we've been abused and harassed before. And people were told that they could like go to church on Sunday, and then now they couldn't go to church on Sunday, they couldn't leave and stuff like that. And when anybody was trying to ask questions and stuff, like they were then abused, like hazed basically and stuff. So there's a lot of people who are quitting this. And, you know, DeSantis Florida's economy is down. Florida's tourism is down. The NAACP released a statement for travel advisory for Black people to not go to Florida. Did you know that so this man changed the law to say that certain states' licenses aren't valid in Florida.
Like driver's licenses?
Driver's licenses. So he said that in some of these states, you can be an illegal immigrant and get a license. And that is questionable at best. And so then
you don't have a social security. Okay, yeah.
So then he's like, there's a whole list of states now that your license isn't valid in Florida. Like, what is that?
What list of states and why those states?
Because those states allegedly let you get a license if you are
an illegal immigrant.
Yeah. Right.
It's very, very interesting.
Very strange. Like, yeah.
I don't know fully what his thing is, but I'm going to tell you this. If you can't be forthright and upfront about what you're doing, so like if you want to do a militia, do it.
Yeah,
you're the
right,
governor.
exactly.
But like let people know, like you're coming in, you're not leaving, and you're not going to church on Sunday, and you will have to shave, and you like call it what it is, as opposed to like why it doesn't make any sense. Like how did it? So now you look sneaky. So even if you were doing something that a lot of people could get behind, now that you're being sneaky about it, you're going to lose a lot of trust with those people who you're putting in the situation, but also with your general public, because they will be like, why are you lying to my man? Why are you lying to my wife? Like, why are you putting in this situation? So that's kind of,
you know, and he's fighting with Disney, and Disney brings in a lot of money to Florida and to their economy and stuff like that. And Florida has a big tourism economy, and now they're losing money because people don't want to go there. Like people don't want to go to the state because he's so messy and just doesn't like anybody, and just be saying stuff. Like he says stuff that isn't true, like it's true, and then people believe it, and then they think like, with the drag bans and stuff, and they think like, oh my God, I'm protecting kids. But in reality, he's giving you like these hypothetical situations, oh, they could do this or they could do that, but it's actually not happening at that moment. And I hate that. And I feel like that's just so dishonest.
I do think that part of him though, like with doing that stuff, like I've heard, I'm not like fully versed on DeSantis. Like he's done some things that I'm like, cool. And then he's done some things that I'm like, yikes. But from what I've seen, I think like that's the thing, is kind of like, you're like, we're looking at like where it's going. So like if you're talking about, I'm trying to think about like how to explain it. He's like talking about like, okay, so like I'm not just looking at what somebody's doing right now. I'm looking at what somebody's doing right now with what purpose, with what intent to do what later. And I think like some of his stuff with like the drag bans, he was like saying like, I don't want it to become common for children to be insexual.
But my thing is how long have we had drag shows and like drag queens and stuff like that in Florida? I've gone to many drag shows in Florida. And like, how long has it been going on? And also drag shows are rated. They have ratings to where like you're not supposed to bring your kid, or it's for like, it's PG, almost like TV ratings for drag shows. And they'll let you know, like if you see a flyer somewhere or there's an event, it will say like, this is for 18 plus. This is for, younger people or whatever. And so I just
don't know why we're bringing kids into it at all. Like why are we bringing kids to drag? But again, like, are we really like bringing kids to drag shows?
Well, because the whole thing was based off like one incident with one parent, and the actual drag show
took the child,
and the actual drag show the parent took the child for wasn't a kid drag show. Like the kid shouldn't have been there.
And do you remember? I wish I would have saved his name. The drag queen. I sent you this video where he's like, you're making us look like little predators when your kid's not invited. Like this is an adult entertainment. And and I always say that. So like, and again, so who cares? If you're over 18 in the United States, who freaking cares? Right. Or 21, whatever you have to do.
Well, now, so it started with the kids, but now in Florida, like if you want to transition as an adult, you can, and I'm like, well, I thought it was about the kids. I thought we were worried about the kids. And my whole thing is like, trans people make up like 1% of the population. And there is so many things that are happening with kids that are super messed up that we're not doing anything about. And I just feel like it's a nothing burger. And there's other stuff that we could actually really
and it feels like
focus on.
It feels like it's an everything burger because that's all you're seeing on
and that's what people think, and so people are thinking that like, all these drag queens are out there and they're trying to what is it? Not institutionalize, like brainwash your kids and indoctrinate your children or whatever. And it's kind of like, are they, or are they just living?
We had this conversation with Bobby. I love you, Bobby. Shout out to Bobby. But like, and that was something that like, because I am team not bringing any children into anything sexual when they're under 18, period. Like, it's just not the place for it. Whatever you discuss in the privacy of your own home with your child is your motherfucking business. And that's where the place for it.
Well, did you see, I don't know if you follow the Ratchets, but the
I can't say that I do.
The rapper Blueface and his original baby mom, they had strippers at their house. And they posted this online, and there was like naked strippers in front of one of the kids was sitting on a couch, like in front of their children. And then one of the kids went to go get a snack in the pantry. The pantry didn't have nothing in it. And then Blueface comes in and says, "Oh, are you gay? Because you came in here and there's like booty sheets out there and you're not in there." Luckily, people called CPS on them.
As they should have.
And stuff like that. But like, I just feel like that things like that in a hetero world are because there's more. And I think that happens so much more than just like,
like with porn and stuff. Right. With gay.
Yeah.
Are we, maybe they're just not there yet. But I think like something that I forget if it was you or Bobby who said it, because I was like, I'm like, I'm not saying block the drag queens because they're drag queens. I'm saying let's block sexualizing activity with minors, period. 18's the age, let's leave 18 the age. I feel like that is like a typical good age, whatever. And then I don't know if it was you or Bobby, but like somebody said, who brought the drag queen to the situation?
Right.
Because again, the drag queens are
Can't go themselves,
storming
right.
the libraries and store. So like, and I think like that, and girl, you know what's interesting? You know who's typically like pushing for it? Middle-aged white women liberals who are married to men. But again, so like we talk about this all the time, but it's like putting the wrong emphasis in the wrong situation. So like, again, like you're marketing or like pushing the fact that these drag queens are at this place. Who brought the children into drag queens?
Right.
And then also, so that's such a bizarre, weird, hopefully like random, like rare situation. But when you do put it in focus as like, they're coming for our kids. No, the so-and-so's mom brought them. They're not coming for your kids. They're coming where the paycheck is.
Right.
And then also like, it's just, so anyway, all that to say, I see what you're saying. And I feel like it is like a weird situation. And like, why are we making it such a,
because people are
like drag queens can't go on the corner of the strip, okay, neither can strippers. Like, why are we even like, you're making it this thing.
Like you're making it, and that's what it is. I feel like they're making it a thing when it didn't need to be a thing. And there's other stuff that we really could focus on. And, you know, like we have.
Like kids are still hungry.
Right. There's like 400,000 kids in foster care at any given time. You know,
75% of whom will disappear off the face of the earth and never go to college. 85% of whom are sexually and or physically abused.
Yep. And that I did a project on aging out of foster care in my undergrad. And I learned that how I think it was like 30,000 kids a year disappear out of like they age out of the system and they don't have a license, don't have an ID card, don't have any of that. So like they don't know where they are. And I was like, this can't, and I was like, this cannot be true. This cannot be real. Like this cannot actually be a thing. And I just kept looking and I was like, this is messed up. Why aren't we doing anything about that? Why aren't we making it easier for people to adopt kids? You know, instead of making it harder and taking away gay people from being able to adopt kids. Like there's so many kids that need a good home. Why are we not focusing on that and focusing on the abuse that happened? Because I'm like, if you're in foster care, you're statistically just like gonna be a mess.
Yeah.
Like it is so rare that somebody comes out of that situation and goes to college or like is able to really make something of themselves because it's such a crappy situation.
And then also with that, I wish I'm unprepared, but I wish that I had the percentage, but it's an incredibly high percentage then of human trafficking victims who started out as at-risk youth.
Mm-hmm.
And who's the most at-risk youth? The people that nobody gives a frick about because they're in foster care and that person's just using them for the check that they get from the government. And like, how do you get into these situations? Somebody's like, oh, hey, like, come hang out with me. Oh, hey, like gives them attention. The next thing you know, they're freaking trafficked in whatever the situation is. It's such a horrible disaster, such a mess.
Yeah.
There's so many things that we need to focus on. And we talk about this all the time. I feel like we're like yelling about this and we're yelling about that, but the real issue never gets dealt with.
And if you want to talk about the kids, like let's talk about the kids. Let's talk about real issues that are affecting kids and not about
percentages. Like what is the percentage of this situation affecting kids? And then how many kids are at risk? Let's take a real hard look and do another stat on foster kids. Let's look at what kids are food insecure. Like look, remember COVID? They were saying like a lot of kids only eat at school, the free lunch program at school. And then when school was shut down.
And then America decided that we're not doing free lunch anymore because we couldn't afford it. But we can give Ukraine a whole bunch of money. But we can't afford to give free lunch to kids. And luckily there's states now who have stepped in and said like
PA for one of them.
We are giving our kids free lunch and stuff, but like how can you say you care about the kids but you can't feed them? They literally legally have to go to school. Your kid has to be in school. They have to go there. And now it's like, we're not going to feed you.
Well, and then also too, I think like that's the thing, as much as the word agenda is thrown around, like this is a left-wing agenda and this is a right-wing agenda. Yeah, it probably is. But also don't ever forget, like both sides have an agenda and it always makes us miss the actual issue.
Right.
So ask questions, everybody. That was a whole side note of DeSantis. We went down, but you know what? It was a path worth taking because it's a problem. I actually care about we care about the kids. That's why we are down this trail.
And that's why it just frustrates me so. And there's like, I love to read comments on like Fox News or whatever. And it honestly breaks my heart because I will be reading them and people really believe that gay people and trans people are just out here trying to like rape your kid. And it's such a lie, you know, and it's such you're misleading people and people are scared, you know, and genuinely are like believing this. And it's wild to me. And it made me sad when I read it. And I'm like, dude, these people don't care. They're trying to live their own life and pay their own bills and like do their own thing. And they're not worried about you at all.
But you know, here's the thing. I saw this video on TikTok, which made me do a deep dive. And it was like a highlighted reel of different gay couples that were found to have hurt their kids, raped their kids, molested their kids, whatever. And so there was like 6 of them on there, and it's like a legitimate fact. Like, turns out like police were involved, children were taken out of the homes, and the gay couples were, whatever. And again, like, it just brings me back to how many people, so that's real, right? But now we're highlighting it and making it into this oh, the gay people are raping the kids. I wish I could tell. I don't know the number, but I wish I could tell you how many people I talk to on a daily basis of, I was molested by my brother, I was molested by my uncle, my dad raped me. Like, there's all these stories that, like, again, I feel like they're no big deal because they're so common. So again, if you're going to highlight that, yeah, that did happen and they did happen to be gay, but like, also don't forget, did it happen because they're gay, or did it happen because they were probably victimized and now they're victimizing kids, just like this guy over here? So again, agenda. I digress.
And they say there's like a fat agenda, and like, because people like fat agenda. So like, yes,
like pretty hard and tempting.
Hey, so like Lizzo, people will say that she's like glorifying obesity and like she has like an agenda to make your kids fat. And I'm like, is she, or is she just a big girl living her life proudly and not ashamed of it?
She's vegan.
And like,
isn't vegan super?
But it's just, I feel like there's so many people who feel like people are trying to indoctrinate people when it's literally just them living their life. Like, is she telling you to be fat? No. Is she telling your kids to be fat? No. Is she like promoting any, you know what I mean? No. But
when someone throws hate at her, she's like, okay, did not receive. I love this.
And I feel like that's what it is. And it's just like, oh, people are glorifying obesity. And it's like, no, people are bigger and you should love yourself.
And if you also go onto Lizzo's page, there's multiple posts on her excessively clean vegan meals. Also, her at a yoga workout. Like,
she works out.
She does a ton
more than me.
So like is she also overweight? She is. But like, is she telling you, like, you know what you should do is you should be fat and healthy?
Right.
No, she's like, I think she gets a lot of hate. She gets a lot of shade, and she's just like, not my problem.
Yeah. I saw somebody was mad at mannequins because they had plus size like workout gear, and somebody filmed it, was pissed off. And I was like, so we want people who are bigger to be healthy and like go work out, but then you're mad that they have workout clothes that fit them. What are they supposed to wear? I guess they're not allowed to wear workout.
We know that you would be so offended if we were in there with no clothes on. So can we get like a size appropriate?
So you just not make clothes and then they're just gonna be naked till they can fit in something?
Well, and girl, you know, I always say this. I'm like, how is it 2023 and this is still going on? But like, it really does. And I'm not trying to associate like racism with fat phobia. However, you know how you were telling me, like, this is just like going off of that, but you know, you were telling me, you were like, sometimes like people aren't outwardly like, I hate people of other colors, but they'll say things that you're like, clearly you have some sort of issue.
Clearly.
Because that was not something you would ever say to anybody else. You're specifically saying it to me because I happen to be a different skin tone than you are. And like, I see that because I feel like I know people personally who are like, like, I don't hate anybody. Like, I love everybody. That's great. But then like specific things like, and I'm not sensitive about it, but they'll say specific things to me like, AKA, are you diabetic? Actually, no, I have perfect cholesterol. Thank you for asking.
Ooh, girl, I have high cholesterol.
And my sugars are like beautiful. Like I'm in the green, sis. But like, is anybody looking at you and being like,
No, they're not.
Amber, are you diabetic?
No, they're not.
Amber, do you have high cholesterol?
Nope.
But
When
I
I
think,
tell people that I have high blood pressure and like high cholesterol and things like that, they're surprised because I'm thinner. Like
Yeah.
I have an athletic body. And so it shocks them that
yada, 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 yada.
it shocks them that I, because people just assume because you're small, you're healthy.
Right.
And
what is that called? Unconscious bias. Somebody was going after Meghan Markle and Harry, not Styles, Prince Harry.
Yeah.
Or the former the Harry formerly known as the Prince. I don't know. But they were going after them talking about unconscious bias. And it's like something that I'm like, I actually think that that's so interesting because there are little things in there that would sneak in that like they're not going to go out and say that they hate Lizzo for being fat, but like you definitely have a problem with the fact of Lizzo poses in a yoga studio all sweaty from doing a workout, but you do have a problem when she poses sitting eating like a vegan burger on the beach because she's fat and it's offensive to you.
right.
But girl, it's almost like
Oh.
okay. But we do have something else that we have to talk about. Very important. We have to talk about our fashion evolution from skinny jeans to puff sleeves.
Yes.
Because it's been an evolution.
It has been.
It's a different version of the same thing.
You think so?
Well, I mean, I feel like we have grown into different, like, we still wear a t-shirt and jeans, but now the jeans are a little bit more, like, they fit us better. And I feel like our t-shirts are probably more than 98 cents from like XL. And they're like, the cuts are different, but I feel like it's kind of the same thing. However, as you get older, and I feel as I've gotten more confident and more kind of like, I know I definitely like that. There's no question about it. I'm wearing it. That's why I'm always wearing a sleeve as big. When I walk into a room and I just feel like maybe that's why people have fat phobia of me, because I'm just big, like big hair and then my big sleeves and I'm vibing. Like I'm like loving it. So I'm like, what's up? So I'm like big confidence.
Yeah.
And like, I'm here for the puff sleeve. Like the bigger, the better.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it and I was like, me and Chelsea used to just not wear dresses and like wear dressy clothes really ever. And
we had to wear skirts at school, khaki skirts, and we would still wear like our skateboard sneakers, our chucks.
I wore boots. I wore combat boots.
7 days you died. All worn in, the perfect level.
I loved some of the boots I had in high school.
Well, me too. That's why I wore them to death. Like I was like not boots, but like it's like that's why I'm not changing these shoes out. My mom was like, they're
like
tight. Like they're yes. I'll die first.
Oh my gosh.
Period.
I was thinking, and I was like, with Y2K fashion coming back.
Speaking of which, I feel like your hair is very on point with Y2K fashion. Yes, 2000s. And Roswell. Maria wore hair like that. No, Roswell, not the new Roswell. Roswell, the TV show.
Oh, I love that show.
No, I'm Max.
Oh my gosh, come on.
And Liz, but I feel like Maria wore her hair like that in like circa 2000.
I love that show.
I still watch it. I have it downloaded on my phone.
I was actually thinking about rewatching it.
You should.
And then I was like,
we should rewatch it together and we can FaceTime.
And I was like, maybe I'll rewatch One Tree Hill. No.
I can't tell you how many times I've rewatched One Tree Hill, but I never make it past like season 6.
I finally like finished it, and then I rewatched the whole thing. And I was like, I love this show.
Did you know any teenagers like that? Like Brooke Davis?
Yes.
There was just no parental supervision at all.
I did actually when I came up here from where we live down in Jersey, and there I was around like rich kids and stuff, and there was a ton of kids who their parents were never home. Like,
I feel like my parents were never home, but like I got a cell phone when I was 16 for emergencies because both of my parents had 2 jobs and they would stalk my life. I was allowed to go out and do it. Yeah. The first time I had a curfew was when I went to Masters. I remember being like, wait, what?
Yes.
I was like, midnight.
Yes.
And then I realized that nothing's going on in Rockford.
No,
like everything was at 8 o'clock.
Right,
so then I was like, well, now I'm not upset about it. But I feel like, we were just out in the streets.
We were.
But being checked in on. But anyway, no, the fashion was, I feel like I dressed like Peyton. Like when I was in high school, that's kind of, except my clothes weren't expensive. I was always in like the thrift store t-shirt, the jeans, and chucks.
I love the way she dressed.
With my big hair, don't care. And eyeliner just on the inside and lip gloss.
Ooh, God, I love me some eyeliner.
and about 12 pounds of mascara.
Girl, it has to be dark.
If I would have known about lash extensions, because at that point I feel like it was probably like a $6,000 service.
Oh my gosh, yes.
If I would have known about lash extensions, nobody would have been. I feel like I would have been a different person. Like nobody would have been able to tell me not one thing.
Oh my gosh.
Not one thing. But like, how do you think we got to puff sleeves? For me personally, I think it's with confidence, and I love that. I love a dramatic.
Yeah, I think so too. It took me a while to kind of find my own style and then be comfortable with my own style and be comfortable with people not liking it, you know, and be comfortable with people looking at me with it and stuff like that.
That confidence unfortunately came from me like in my 30s, where I was like,
yeah, definitely.
Where I was like, I'm wearing biker shorts. I don't care if I got big thighs. Like I'm doing it. It's hot.
Yeah. I feel like definitely it did for me. Like I definitely in my 30s realized like, and I needed like once I got out the military, when you're in the military, you have uniforms, you have gym clothes, and you have club clothes. Like there's literally no in between. So when I got out, I needed clothes. And then I was working in the office and stuff. And when I first was buying like office attire, I bought things that I thought would be appropriate, but they weren't necessarily things I liked. And then
that makes so much sense to me.
Yeah. And so then finally I kind of was like, I'm going to start wearing stuff that I want to wear, like dresses that I want to dress in and everything. And, you know, maybe I'll wear a harness. Okay. You know, that's
you never
fine.
know when you're going to be
But
lifted up somewhere.
Exactly. But yeah, but I feel like it took me so long. And it's funny because my mom will be like, you know, when you were a kid, I couldn't get you in a dress. And now I love it.
Love them.
I love them because they're easy and you just put one thing on. I don't have to touch anything.
Well, for me, I have to put a bra. I have to put I have to put the dress, but then I have to put like Spanx on too, because otherwise my thighs will chase me into flames. But other than that, it's like the one thing. It's the one thing and the one pair of like Spanx. But and like with Y2K fat, okay, do you know who Tori Kelly is? She's a singer. She can sing like nobody's business.
Curly hair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's real into Y2K and she's real into like anime and stuff.
I love anime, but I'm not.
You would love Tori Kelly. When I was on Instagram, it just popped up and I was like, I thought it was a flashback. Like a flashback to like the 2000s. I realized it was Tori Kelly and it's her newest music video. Think like 2000 to 2004 pop star walking downtown New York City with like the massive parachute pants, midriff, tight top, huge hair, pointing at the camera like this,
big pants, tight shirt,
big old skater shoes. That is literally what Tori Kelly was wearing. That's her new music video, like her newest music video.
I don't know if I can't go back to low rise.
Ooh, I can't now. Then I remember the safety shirts because my crack. Now somebody would call somebody.
Like, what did you say? You had a high butt crack?
Yeah, I do. I have like a high, like where I was like, I can't. I sat down and my butt is halfway out of my pants, but when I stand up, they were like there.
I used to wear like the lowest pants.
I know.
Like the lowest of the low and lowest shorts and everything.
That's all that you could buy. There was nothing.
That's true. There really wasn't.
There really was nothing.
Yeah.
Girl, now I'm thankful. I actually, okay. My friend's husband, my husband's friend too, they're friends. He will go on and on and on. I'm like, show me you're in your mid-30s without showing me you're in your mid-30s. He will go on about how like disgusting mom jeans are. He's like, they are so unattractive. And he's like, I miss in high school when girls were wearing like, and
I've heard from a lot of guys.
Bro, he will start, and like his wife is super trendy, so she'll wear like she's wearing like what, like, you know, like mom jeans or like whatever. And he's like, I freaking hate it. Like I hate them.
I've heard a lot of guys say that they hate them, and
I love it. I feel so supported.
We don't.
Period. We don't.
It's fine.
It's completely fine.
It is. Like I was at a party at my friend's house. And they're like almost all the girls had on mom jeans. And some guys were in the kitchen and they were like, I hate those pants. Like they're so ugly, blah, blah. And it was just funny to me. I was like, oh, you take your choice of moms. Because
that's what you have to choose.
They're all wearing them.
And they're here and they're not going anywhere.
Right. Like, and we don't really care.
We don't. But so, okay, so all that to say, you're with the Y2K fashion making its comeback minus the low rise jeans, like the lowest of the low rise jeans. Do you remember mud? M.U.D.D.
I wore a lot of mud.
Yeah, well, that's why and like you're like what do you call it? Your vagina start? Like that's where the like jeans, like that's where the top was. Like if you coughed, you might like me when I sat down, I'd be like I went to a conservative school too, so it was a problem.
I was always in detention for my uniform. I stayed in detention for my uniform.
We've had this conversation. I remember like it was yesterday, you having a conversation, and I remember being like, Amber, it's because your legs are like long and beautiful. It's because you have like a bigger chest, and it's because you have like a six pack. That's why it's a problem. Like if I wear the same outfit, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry, they hated you. They hate you because they hate you.
Girl, ooh. Well, I remember one time I was so excited because I bought my own uniform shirt and I bought an actual size that fit me. I had a small or like a medium or something, and I always wore big pants. And I got pulled to the side and told like I couldn't wear my shirt anymore because it was too tight, or like I needed to buy a shirt that was my size. And I literally was like, this is my size. Like, this is my shirt. Like this is my uniform shirt. And then after that, I wore everything was an extra large. Like literally, I had the biggest khakis and I had the biggest uniform shirts because I was like, no.
But after hours, when we were running around South Street, it was low-rise pants, a polo with a pop collar, and some dirty checks.
Do you remember the onesies were big then too? Like they came back.
What do you mean?
Because I used to have onesies, like the one piece jumpsuit, like the shorts or whatever. I had one that was like terry cloth and stuff.
Oh yeah, the shorts with the hood, the t-shirt, terry cloth, and they were
it was like one piece.
And J-Lo would wear them.
Yeah, yep.
Oh my god!
And when they came back, I love them because I do love them.
The most like you were prepared for any sort of weather because you had a hood. It was terry cloth, but it was also shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
With some high socks. What are those called?
Like the tees.
Yeah, those. And they had the stripes on top of them. What's it called?
Oh, the
tube socks.
Yes.
Those are like the only socks I had. There was no such thing as low-rise socks.
No, because we had to pull them down to make ankle socks.
Or not wear socks. Or wear tube. Yeah. Or wear tube socks.
I just don't have that kind of dedication.
No, me either. Thank God they made them.
It was not comfortable.
No, it wasn't.
Sock folded down.
I feel like I was always uncomfortable. Like I was always like uncomfortable because that's how like the clothes were.
Girl.
Yes.
Are thongs making a comeback, you think?
I don't know if thongs ever went anywhere. I was like obsessed with thongs when I was in high school, even though nobody was seeing them.
Me too.
But I like nowadays, like my husband and I will talk about this, and I'm like, here, I'll wear a thong. I'm not sleeping in a thong.
You literally couldn't even pay me. Like
not no amount of money.
The only way I wear one is when I know I'm wearing something specific that you will see underwear lines. And even then, I still like, I'm like, who cares? You know?
Can I tell you, I'm wearing biker shorts right now, and I am not wearing no thong, so you can see the lines and everything.
But they were big. They were big.
They were big. I used to wear thong, and like I look back at this now, and I used to make all these perverted jokes all the time. When I tell you I was the biggest virgin, like I remember having this red thong, and my mom was like, "What the frick?" Because it was like Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. And it was red, and it was like a string. I thought it was so funny.
Have a thong that says Save a Horse.
And I would say currently, but I would say I had like all this crazy underwear, and like now if my daughter had it, I'd be like, why are you even joking? And I used to think it was so funny, maybe because it was like so like not in my realm.
Oh, I mean, like I would literally like only wear thongs.
Yeah, girl.
No, like nope.
It's like thong swimsuits too. Like remember like the 80s and early 90s how like all the
it was like really high up here.
That's like all it is. I'm like, I need a full coverage.
Like nobody needs to see my little booty.
Nobody needs to see my booty.
It's just little. So like it's not even, I just feel like it's not cute. Like maybe if it was bigger and juicy, I'd be like, hey, but
I mean mine's big and juicy. Remember that thing she got that was swallow up a G string? Is that yay? Kanye. I feel like I have that, but I wouldn't be like, that's why I'm like, I need full coverage. Mom suit. I know one mom, she wears the cheekiest and she don't, she wears that one day. She don't care.
Because so I took last summer, I took the kids to Dorney Park and we were there and I had on a bikini, like regular two-piece. And we were in the little kiddie park and girl, all the other moms had on the ugliest. First of all, like they were ugly. Tankinis, yes. Floral, like, and I'm like, girl, you are not 97. Like, get it together. So I'm walking around and people keep like are looking at me. And then I saw like a group of ladies like looking and talking. And I looked and I was like, oh, I'm the only one that has like a bikini on in here. Like
So
every
that's what
other
the problem
mom
is.
had on like a tankini or like some hideous one piece or like whatever. And I'm like, I'm walking around Dorney Park all day. We're in Wildwater Kingdom. So I'm like, I'm gonna wear my bathing suit. And I literally felt mom shamed because I had a bikini on and I didn't understand what the issue was.
Well, yeah.
Like, I was like, okay.
Girl, I'll tell you what the issue is. They hate you because they hate you.
Well,
period.
And I was like, y'all don't have to wear that.
You know? Well, my friend was saying, like, to be honest with you, I didn't even notice her swimsuit. So she asked me like later that day, because we were at the pool, she was like, was my swimsuit like too much? Like, was it? And I was like, girl, to be honest, I genuinely don't know. Like, whatever. And she was saying how, I guess her husband obviously wasn't shaming her because her husband's like obsessed with her.
Right.
But he was like, you are the only one with cheeks out.
Right.
And like, right or whatever. And she was like, when I tell you I don't care, I mean, I don't care. I work out every day. This is a swimsuit I like. I look good in it. Right. That's what I'm wearing. I was like, girl, you better go on.
Right. I didn't feel bad about it. I just
I feel like
I was just like, why? I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
And stuff. And I was just like,
well, it's one thing for a man to like ask a question and be like, can you like wear that with your cheeks out? And it's another thing for moms to be like,
yeah.
You know the look, guys.
Girl, I was getting looks and I was like, guys, what is wrong with I love my cute little bathing suit.
Girl, you better wear.
Hey.
WER.
Woo. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful Saturday and our wonderful video. Yes. And make sure you subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts and follow us on social media. We are on TikTok at Politics But Make It Fashion, Instagram, Politics But Make It Fashion 1, and our Facebook page, Politics But Make It Fashion Podcast. Yeah. And we will chat soon.
Bye.